Hey y'all, welcome back. Today's video is something real special, let me tell you. We got a whole bunch of stories lined up about going head to head against future NFL players back in their high school days. From some heart-pounding plays to some unexpected friendships. Y'all gonna love these tales that give y'all a taste of the high school sports world. So, if you're curious about the moments that define these matchups, and what it's like to go toe-to-toe with the NFL stars of tomorrow, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And let's jump right into these exciting gridiron stories. Story 1. Played against Reggie Bush and Alex Smith, probably one of the best teams in San Diego history, and they let you know it. Alex Smith really didn't do anything against us because Reggie's, and their other RB who I forget the name of, talent were head and shoulders above everyone else. Kellen Winslow Jr. was the cockiest douche I've seen/played against. Nothing more satisfying than seeing him lose the game. Story 2. Played against Brock Osweiler in high school. I was bummed to see Denver drafted him. Guy was kind of a prick and was known for incessant trash talking and weasel tapping opponents after getting tackled. Crazy to watch him though. Since he is 6 feet 8 inches, he was mobile in high school because he was so hard to tackle. Story 3. I played against BlaineGabbard in HS, and I played on the same team as Monty Ball. Monty was a sophomore my senior year, and made me and the other receivers pretty much obsolete. At least it wasn't for nothing, haha. The only thing I remember about playing Gabbard was the coaches talking all week about how we need to stop/shut down Big Blaine. We actually beat them in that game, and he wasn't all that effective. Story 4. I was on Ray Maluga's HS team. He is a valid reason for finding ways to protect kids from concussions. I've seen him cause a lot of them. In LB drills during practice, instead of squaring up with me, he would just pick me up and carry me a few yards and then set me down. Last time I saw him, he snuck up behind me in front of a bar and lifted me over his head. Story 5. My nephew played against Ray Rice for 2 seasons in high school, beat him once, and lost the second time. Ray Rice played for New Rochelle, which is a fairly large school in Westchester, New York. The thing about Ray Rice is he didn't appear to be that big, but my God, I have never seen anyone run over, around and confuse defenders the way Ray Rice did in high school. Story 6. I played football against Chris Long and BJ Upton in high school, both of whom went second overall in their respective drafts, Long for football and Upton for baseball. Long was a crazy physical specimen, but hadn't developed impressive football skills yet. He was just a massive kid in a league of private schoolers. His dad would try to keep a low profile at the games, but it's hard to blend into the crowd when you're that big. The sunglasses and hat weren't fooling anyone, Howie. Upton was already known to be going at the top of the MLB draft when we were playing him in football. No one could understand why in the world he was risking his baseball future by playing football. I broke my arm tackling him. Story 7. Played against Mark Ingram when he was at Grand Blanc, transferred to Southwestern for his senior year. Athletic freak. The entirety of their offense was get Mark the ball. It made it really easy to figure out where the ball was going, not so easy to stop it. Unless he wasn't getting the ball that play. Then he kinda jogged around. Ran track against him as well. My mom likes to tell the story of seeing him at a track meet when we were both in 8th grade and thinking he looked like a full-grown man at 14. Story 8. So, every year my HS team would have Patrick Willis's team in for 3-a-days. The first year we did so, we had this running back who was like 5 feet 8 inches, 215 pounds. Dude was a beast and was fast as hell. So, he get the ball on a counter, cuts up, and out of nowhere comes this blur who just destroys him. It was pretty nasty, helmet to helmet and all that. Anyway, our guy gets up and is trying to fight off the tears, and in doing so takes off his helmet and has a bruise the shape of the helmet around his face. Pretty sick. Story 9. Played a few other pros, notably Golden Tate and Harrison Smith. Golden was pretty unstoppable. Harrison Smith was solid, but his coach didn't really know how to use him. They just repeatedly ran him up the middle despite him being bigger than everyone and having 4.3 speed. If he could have gotten one-on-one with DBs and OLBs, he would have dominated. That said, he was still pretty incredible. We were just always happy they didn't get him outside too much. Forgot maybe the best one. So, one day, when we're out there practicing, this punt gets boomed across the field and into our huddle. We were splitting the field, and the other team was on the other side from us. Anyway, this tiny little guy runs into our huddle screaming, "OHSHIE! Oh shit! OHSHIE!" as the entire varsity team storms downfield at him, and he has no blockers. He scoops up the ball, jets out of our huddle, up the sideline, and just smokes everyone into the end zone. It was Randall Cobb. Must have been a freshman or sophomore at that time, but man, he could move. Story 10. As a senior at LSU, I played with Laren Landry. Dude was a fucking monster. Was extremely happy I played D, and wasn't really good enough to start. I did get to end up playing in a few games with him when one of our starters went down. I remember missing a tackle on a RB and seeing Laren run up and smash the kid down. Things sounded like it hurt. Oh, and Jamarcus. God, that dude was a funny motherfucker. Story 11. Percy Harvin went to my high school. My brother played against him a bunch back in the day, rec league. He always brags about how he sacked Percy multiple times. My brother was a defensive nose guard. In high school, Percy was a well-known asshole. He would show up to practice an hour or two late, run a few plays, and then disappear. He ran the school. There wasn't much the coaches could say to him because he alone was putting up 30-plus points a game. It was known that he slapped the shit out of the wrestling head coach. The principal himself told the coach to not press charges because it would have ruined Percy's football career. That, and they wanted it to be known Percy came from Lansdowne High School. That being said, I still love watching him play. His high school games were a joke. It basically became, "Are we going to win by 30 points or 40 points tonight?" Story 12. Played a drunken pickup game on the beach with Jordan Shipley, WR, Jags, and Stephen McGee, QB, Texans, one spring break. McGee was arrogant and not awe-inspiring. Shipley was the most ripped human being I've ever seen in person, but the sand neutralized his quickness. Played real football against Kellen Hurd DT Colts. He was nearly the same size in HS as he is now, 6 feet 6 inches, 339 pounds, and everything was effortless for him. One of our O-linemen put him in an ankle lock at the bottom of a dog pile in desperation, but to no avail. Story 13. I went to school with Keith Rivers. He played RB and MLB for us. He was a pretty decent RB, but he was insane on defense. Sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions, scaring the piss out of opposing offensive players. Guy just did it all. He was actually a pretty cool guy too, and he provided great theater when girls fought over him. Story 14. Played against Riley Cooper. He was leading the state in all-time touchdown returns at the time. Made him fumble on a punt return other than that got destroyed. Story 15. I remember one time I was walking to class down Fountain Mall when I saw RGI doing an interview with some news guys. I think it had to do with him being on the cover of the NCAA football game that year. I slowed my pace so I could snoop on the interview for a bit. As I was about to leave, I heard somebody yell at